Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Niels. I'm one of the directors and co-founders of the Global Aircargo Alliance. On behalf of our team, a very warm welcome to our familiarization meeting. Before we start with our program, I would like to request if you can switch to speakers view. Today's conference will last about 30 to 40 minutes. And to start off, we will have a community open mic that is open to everyone. So I will go through the gallery view and call out some names. And if you could then please unmute yourself and give us a short introduction about yourself, where you're from, and which company you are representing. So let me start off right now with a familiar face, Darren. Hi, good morning, Darren. Sorry, Darren, you're on mute. Hi, Darren.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Trust everybody is good, huh?
Yes, sir.
So how are you? You look very good, Neil.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Where
very kind of you to join the familiarization meeting. I know you weren't able to join last time.
Right. Correct. You got very good memories.
Yes. So yeah, maybe you can tell us where you're from and why you're here, and then I'll be happy to move on to the other persons as well.
Okay. I think I met quite a fair bit of you guys there. Hi, everybody. My name is Darren. I'm from ASM Singapore. I have been in this business for 27 years, and I missed the last one, the conference meeting, and I think the last trip we went was in Shanghai, right? We were in Shanghai, right?
That's right. That was October 2019. That's right.
Right. Well, time flies. Yeah. Right. It has been a long time, and then I'm so excited. I just came back from work. I reached home at 9 p.m. Singapore time, and quickly get my shower, get my coffee, and get ready to meet every one of you here. And I hope that everybody is in good hand, doing well. Business is good. I know it's a lot of, very interesting things moving around in the sea freight, in the air freight, in the carriers, the pricing, the space, and everything. But it's very challenging because there's always opportunities when there's obstacles. So basically, let's work together. Let's share. Let's build. Let's develop. Let's communicate. I believe that somewhere, somehow, we can do something and we support the same group that we are with and together.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
I would like to hear from Amy. Hi, Amy. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be. If you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Neil. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I am Amy from Sonic Interface Thailand. This is the first time to join the GAA conference.
Yes.
Wish everyone is okay for this situation.
Thank you for your introduction. I see a familiar name here. Would like to say good morning from Canada to Osmani, Translog Overseas. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm okay. Well, my name is Osmani. I'm a pricing manager here in Translog Overseas in Spain. And now I'm working in the air freight department. And before that, I work in the ocean freight. And, but everything is good. Here in Spain, it's very more early. It's 4 p.m. So I'm at home. Today I work from my home. My colleagues, they're working some part in the office and the other part in the home.
Great.
And switch every week.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to work from home sometimes too, or that kind of new schedule or new, let me say, habit, work from home and work from office, if we have that flexibility, then that can be great, of course. I would like to say hello to Ijeoma. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you are. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Okay, hi. My name is Ijoma Jack. I am. This is my first time in this meeting. I got to know you through my email.
Yes.
I am representing Bernard Nigeria Limited in Nigeria. We have offices both in Port Harcourt and in Lagos, and we have been in business since 1997. We are freight forwarders. We do import, export, door-to-door services. So I'm glad to meet you all, and I hope we can all do business together. I can see your faces and you're all looking good. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you for your introduction. I would like to say good morning to Ashan Habib.
Hi, good evening you all, and welcome you on Global Aircargo Alliance Familiarization Meeting. It's my pleasure to be here to take participation in this meeting. And if I say something about Bangladesh, especially Bangladesh, and my official name is TW Express. I'm the president and CEO of TW Express. I'm in this business for last 25 years, but working in the shipping trade more than 30 years. And I worked before I started my career with the shipping company. After a decade, I started my own business since 1997. And you know, in Bangladesh, point of view is very important place for traffic trade lane, as because we are moving a lot of cargos and just behind China. Bangladesh is the second largest country on apparel manufacturing country. We have 5,000 apparel manufacturer, 9 export processing zone for foreigners. And you know that Bangladesh is very ideal place to make a manufacturing, as because for the cheap labor cost and the delivery time and some other possibilities and feasibilities. The most of the customers, they are buying from Bangladesh than China. So on that basis, Bangladesh is really very good place and traffic trade lane to do a good business. And we are here. And though we are having a lot of troubles on current situation by ocean, by air, as because we can imagine that a 40-foot container freight rate now is almost $50,000 from Bangladesh to Europe, and more than $20,000 for US, or close to $20,000. Also, air freight becomes very higher nowadays, no space, as because due to Corona, it has affected badly, as because not many freighters are operating currently, but few of them. So
Yes.
having these consequences, we are also in big trouble here to managing shipments, moving shipments from Bangladesh. But still, there I must say, there are good place, good traffic trade lane, logistic on logistic to make business with Bangladesh.
Yeah, thank you, Ashan. I would like to say good morning to Nadia Sonic.
Hi, Neil. I'm Nadia, and hi to everyone. I'm Nadia from Sonic Interfreight Public Company Limited, Thailand. And actually, we used to meet Neil in another network under the same umbrella, and we are really interesting to develop our business among the member.
Yes, very, very nice to hear from you here again. Thank you. Okay, I would like to maybe call on one more before we move on with our program. Again, today's session is an introduction of the GAA network. It is to familiarize yourself, if you do not know the GAA yet, about what we do on a daily basis, what the network stands for. So this is really an introduction meeting for everybody. I would like to say good morning to OneLog Özgme. I don't know if I have your name correctly. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Özge from OneLog Turkey, Istanbul. I'm glad to meet all of you today. This is our first time as OneLog to be in Global Aircargo Alliance. We are member of IATA, and I'm responsible from Airfreight in my company. My company also known as one of major LCL main consolidator in the country. We just started our air freight department this year, and we would like to develop our air freight networking. So that is why I'm here and meeting all of you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your introduction. So I would like to move on now with our program and introduce the GAA network to you. We have prepared a little video, so let's roll that for you right now.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the GAA team, it is our pleasure to welcome you to our GAA Familiarization Conference, and welcome to Global Aircargo Alliance as well. Before I begin with introducing GAA to you, I will guide you through the agenda for today. Today's program will last about 40 minutes or so with the following program. After my presentation about Global Aircargo Alliance, we will be having an open Q&A to answer all your questions about the network, followed by a keynote presentation on logistics dynamics of COVID-19 and our 2019 after movie. RW Solutions is headquartered in Hong Kong. We currently have 8 freight forwarding networks that are into industry niches. Our networks are very focused according to handling capabilities of forwarders, from pharma, perishables, NVOCC and FCL, to geographic interests like Africa and Middle East. By having specialized groups, our members engage into more meaningful business exchanges with more qualified networking across various brands. At present, we have over 900 members from 100 countries under the RW umbrella. Global Aircargo Alliance is an exclusive network of active air freight forwarders under RW Solutions, which is a network management company that was founded in Hong Kong in 2002 and has its operations in the Philippines. Global Aircargo Alliance has 189 member stations in over 58 countries worldwide. I'd like to share with you some of the conference group photos during our annual partnership meeting. Now let me jump straight into the benefits of being part of the GAA network. Global Aircargo Alliance is virtually represented in every corner of the globe. And by being part of the network, you will enjoy instant access to our air freight partners that you can rely your business on. Being part of GAA means that you will work with trusted, screened, and reliable members. Every new member application undergoes a due diligence to screen the company's financial stability, market reputation, sales strength, and length in operation. All members are likewise subjected to the standard code of ethics and guidelines of the network, which must be followed and adhered at all times. GAA assures that every member is diligently screened. In addition, the network offers payment security for all members as an added layer of security when working within the group. The network has a payment protection program with 5,000 immediate dispute protection, which will then increase to 10,000 depending on the years of stay within the network. Through these events, we reduce your costs from traveling to several countries as the network conducts annual partnership meetings in different countries. In these meetings, you will be able to meet and build contacts with hundreds of agents in one place. The annual conferences and meetings must be attended by GAA members to fortify their relationship with the other members. Since the pandemic, we are also actively adapting to this new normal and conducting virtual conferences for our members. Global Aircargo Alliance is also the first air freight alliance to distribute its network agency list across global freight forwarding events and its global database. This allows for additional global marketing exposure for all GAA members. Global Aircargo Alliance has its exclusive information environment, which provides access to exclusive and up-to-date information amongst the members. Just last year, we were able to launch our first GAA intranet mobile app, enabling ease of access right at your fingertips. Lastly, I would like to personally invite you to all our upcoming events. First in line is our second virtual meeting, which will be held on September 14 to 16, 2021. This time, you'll have the opportunity to take part in face-to-face meetings with other partners from all over the world. Followed by our annual partnership meeting. Hopefully, if travel bans and restrictions are lifted, we can all meet in person next year for our third annual partnership meeting on March 29 to April 1, 2022. Thank you for sharing your time with us and attending our familiarization meeting. Stay safe and healthy during these times, and I hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you, Christian. Yes, so just as Christian mentioned, the GAA will conduct a virtual conference mid-September, so September 14 to 16, where you will have the opportunity to do face-to-face meetings with all the other members, Airfreight members, and actually get to the meat of actual conferencing and meeting agents to see if there's business development opportunities. So moving on to our next section, I would like to introduce a Q&A. In this Q&A, you have the opportunity to ask me any questions that you may have about the network, about how we do things, and ask me directly, of course. If you're too shy to ask a question, you can also put it in a chat box. I will try to read it and try to answer it while we speak. Maybe I can get it going. I can get the Q&A going by asking three of the most commonly asked questions that we come across through our members. The first one being, have you attended any air freight networking events before? What's your favorite and how was it? Of course, events in the past, before all of this happened, were the most important element of any network. They still are, and they're happening virtually right now. It's very important for us to meet face-to-face, of course, as we are in a person-to-person business, and we just crave for this human connection, of course, because there's many things that we cannot get from virtual meetings, and a personal connection when we share a meal with potential partners. There's also certain cues we can get from body language, which we not necessarily can get through virtual meetings. Yet this is the best that we have right now, and we all understand that meetings face-to-face are obviously very important in our business, right? So this is one of the main reasons that why we are conducting our virtual meetings and actual events. So the second question, which is a more important one and maybe less obvious one, is how do you background check your partners? One of the ways, how do you find out if the partner that is working with you is reliable, is going to pay you on time, is going to answer your emails on time, and so on and so forth? So we in our network, we do background check our members when they decide to join. We have several ways of doing that. There is specialized websites, of course, where you can check. One of them is FDRS. Also, we make sure that we are checking with the local associations if you're a registered freight forwarder within your local association. Also, obviously, there's a lot of online information that we can look out for, records on fraud and so on and so forth. I would also recommend something that we do is checking how long the company has been actually active in the business, what kind of references and referrals there are, and is your registered office address actually real? Do you have an address proof? You know, these kind of background checks are very important to be conducted. They might seem very obvious, but they are very necessary. One of the last questions we come across quite a lot is how much credit do you provide to your partners and how do you protect yourself? Obviously, being part of a network gives you a protection, right? But many times we give each other credit that is not really clear to one another. We assume too much that, you know, oh, okay, I can give him 60 days or 90 days, or he will give me 30 days, 60 days or 90 days. All of this normally should be clarified beforehand with your meeting partners, no matter if you belong to a network or not. But being part of the GAA, of course, we provide you with a payment protection and also payment monitoring system. These are tools that you have access to within our mobile application to check if an agent is on time with their payments. If there's any issues, we flag agents according to reports that we receive. But it is one of the tools that we use to protect our members of any credit risk. So this is one of the most important reasons why you want to join a network, not just the GAA. But obviously, if you are joining the GAA or any type of other network, it's very important that you also do your background check on the particular network, how long they've been there, are they financially strong and sound, and so on and so forth. Okay, let me check if there's any question in the chat box here.
My hand is up.
Sorry.
Hi, Niels.
Hi, Rodolfo. Can
hi,
you?
How are you?
I'm very good. Can you tell us where you're from, please?
Yes, of course. I'm from Guatemala City in Central America.
Yes.
Hi to everyone. Good morning. Good evening. I've been in this business for more than 40 years. I just want you to ask, how do you choose the countries where the meetings are held? That's one. The other one is to find out if everyone knows how IATA will classify us nowadays, since I believe most countries don't have any commission with the airlines anymore.
Yes.
And how they are relating with us as clients, not as associates, as we used to be before. So it is very important to make an effort to make IATA to show, I don't know if I should use respect, but I believe so, because every time they make it more difficult for us. So
okay. Maybe I can help you answer that question, or the several questions that you have with regards to your first one, with how and where we choose our actual meetings, our physical meetings. We have, let's say, 2 tiers of meetings that we do. We have the primary network meetings, which is for all the members to come together and do face-to-face meetings. We typically choose cities and regions within Asia. So that would be Shanghai or Thailand, Bangkok, or other destinations within the Asian regions, primarily because we are also based there, and also because the majority of our members are from that region, and because it is also one of the, let me say, important regions in terms of trade. I'm not saying others are not important, but there's obviously a lot of trade coming out of Asia, in and out of Asia. So these were the considerations for our primary meeting destinations. The secondary meetings that we hold are meetings that we do at large exhibitions. For example, we also attend an exhibit at Intermodal in Sao Paulo, for example, or other events within South America that we choose and we exhibit, where we will have a GAA booth, and we will ask our members to join us free of charge, where members can, of course, showcase their company towards the exhibition where we are present. So these are the types of meetings that we conduct right now. Obviously, in current times, it's not possible, but we do hope to resume that sometime next year. Going to your other questions with regards to IATA, we do have a partnership with IATA, and we do have direct contacts. I will actually be inviting Roman, who is from IATA, to attend our virtual meeting in September. And maybe we can direct the types of questions that you had directly to IATA for them to answer to us. I'm sure he will be happy to answer those questions to you personally, also over a one-on-one meeting. Maybe this should better help in getting to the bottom of your questions. We are not necessarily aware of all the intricate details of IATA, of what they're doing with specific to your question. But since we do have an official partner working with us there, I'm sure he will be able to answer your questions there directly. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course, it makes sense. It's just that it's so difficult for countries like us, being small. Even though we're small, we are big producers in many different commodities. Like we are the fourth on sugar in the world. We are one of the biggest on coffee, mini vegetables, and we have a lot of different kind of commodities that most people don't know. And it is so very expensive for us to travel always to Asia, where all the meetings usually are held. Yeah. And I'd like to invite you, all of you guys, to study maybe countries like us, where we can invite and we can even be not a sponsor, but a host in order to also make these kind of meetings. I believe that will make all the people more friendly. I would say so. I don't know, but it is difficult for all of us going to the other side of the world. Very expensive too.
Of course, that's understood. We are fully aware of that, and we are trying to accommodate as best as we can. And hopefully we will be able to have a meeting also in South America one of these days. So we will see. Again, also with regards to IATA, it is not a requirement to be an IATA member in order to be part of GAA, but we do feature IATA members within our agency list as well. And like I said earlier, if you have specific questions for IATA, I'll be happy to introduce you to our contacts there.
That'd be great. Thank you, Niels. We are an IATA member too, so yeah, we don't have a problem with that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. This is Sampath from International Maritime Dubai.
Yes, sorry, Sam, I can't see you. Is your camera on?
In fact, I got this information a few minutes back only, so I was driving. 1 minute, I'll try to switch on my thing. Actually, I'm driving now. Can you see me? Actually, I'm in a car driving, so I parked it in between.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, I would like to know how old is this Global Air Cargo Alliance?
Okay, well, the GAA network has been around since 4 years, but it's part of the RW Solutions Group since 2002. Okay.
And totally, how many members are there actually? This part of the world you have, like actually, basically we are from GCC, you know? Gulf
yeah, we have 189 members, and I will be happy to send you our members list in a separate email if you want. We have actually provided the network details earlier in the presentation. I'll be happy to share that with you, where you can review all the network information if you want.
Sure. I have already given in the chat box, I have given my email ID, and I would also like other members, once we become a member, to start communicating with us. We are basically a freight forwarding company, a logistics company, and we are here for the last 30 years. I am here for the last 24 years in UAE. We were also representing a couple of airlines before, working as a charters and GSA, handling cargo and all. So you can send us all the details, and then we will become a member and see how we can, associate with other members. I would also request other members to, take down my email if they're in the chat box. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I will listen to other people.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
I have here a question from Joel from APS Sri Lanka asking if we are able to share some success stories of members. Well, Joel, I think I would recommend for you to attend our meeting in September, where you can actually speak to the members directly and simply ask them what kind of business that they are receiving or giving to the network. Again, being part of a network requires you to be proactive. Also, while we all are here to receive business and we all want to get business, this is a give and take effort by everyone. Obviously, relationships have to be developed, but once relationships are developed, then the giving of business becomes easier, and then the receiving of business is also much more meaningful in that sense. So I cannot get into details with regards to how many of the different members have had success stories. There are a lot, and I would invite you to participate at our meeting in September. So in about a month from now, where you get to meet and interact with all the members individually, and you can ask them directly. I think it would be better for you to hear from them than me telling you than me telling you the stories of the members to you, right? So I look forward for you to attending the meeting in September. Thank you, Joel. All right, if I don't get any more questions, I will be happy to move on to our next segment. All right, so the next segment will be our keynote presentation. I would like to invite you to pay attention of the keynote presentation of Mark Miller. He is a famous speaker and logistician that also has attended our events in the past and always delivers very meaningful and interesting keynotes. So this one is about COVID-19 impact on global supply chain systems.
Hi, this is Mark Miller, keynote speaker and author of the book, Global Supply Chain Ecosystems. I'm pleased to share with you my insights about logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. Logistics underpins the global economy. Logistics is the glue that connects, enables, and empowers the global supply chain ecosystems that put food on our tables, clothes on our backs, smartphones in our pockets, and medical supplies in our hospitals. A $10 trillion US industry that employs hundreds of millions of workers worldwide. The business of logistics is the logistics of business. As COVID-19 wreaked havoc on communities and economies around the world, supply chain risks were brutally exposed. Trade flows became severely disrupted, and the transport of goods became extremely challenging. Logistics is a people-centric business, so coronavirus restrictions have harshly impacted all types of logistics activities. COVID lockdowns trapped people at home. They couldn't get to work. Transport limitations made it difficult for people to travel to work. Social distancing rules restricted what people could do when they were at work. And of course, border closures impeded the international movement of goods. These COVID restrictions limited the availability of labor in warehouses and container ports, and further exacerbated the shortage of truck drivers, which in turn led to delays and congestion throughout global supply chains, coupled with massive unprecedented disruption to the global logistics sector. Let's explore these logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. In sea freight, the shipping lines were very quick to respond, initially idling capacity, then they forcefully limited supply using ad hoc cancellations of scheduled services. This is known as blank sailings. As COVID spread unevenly around the world, the volatility of freight flows completely upset the traditional balance between supply and demand. Delays and congestion throughout the supply chain resulted in shipping containers being in use much longer than normal, thereby delaying the return of empty containers back into the system, resulting in the worldwide shortage of shipping containers. These challenges in sea freight were then further compounded by the complete blockage of the all-important Suez Canal for almost 1 week. The loss of equilibrium in the container shipping sector has resulted in significantly higher freight rates, which are likely to continue through to next year and well beyond. Shipping lines are now engaged in active capacity management, helping many of them return to healthy profits, no doubt much welcomed in this capital-intensive sector, notorious for its boom-bust cycles. In warehousing, the huge fluctuations in consumer demand, together with the postponement or cancellation of production orders, put severe strains on warehousing capacity around the world. COVID-19 vividly exposed the profound interdependencies in today's global supply chains and will redefine the warehousing sector over the medium term. As supply chain resilience moves to the top of the priority list, inventory will no longer be perceived as evil. Many of the finely tuned lean and just-in-time industrial systems will be replaced or supplemented with business models that incorporate buffer inventories and safety stocks. This will result in the need for ever more warehouse space to store the additional inventory, involving both larger warehouses and more warehouses. Other coronavirus dynamics include an increase in the outsourcing of warehouse operations to third-party logistics providers, which will result in a greater adoption of multi-user warehousing and in turn drive the need for more warehouses. In air freight, the widespread grounding of passenger planes also removed their belly hold space, which is used to transport cargo, thereby very abruptly eliminating almost 50% of global air freight capacity. Freighter airlines and charter operators experienced a much welcomed renaissance at shockingly expensive rates, as top priority was given to urgent needs for PPE equipment and medical supplies. Several airlines used their passenger planes to carry freight, with packages of products strapped into the seats. Some carriers went one step further and actually removed all the seats, enabling the whole passenger deck to be utilized for cargo. Whatever the creative solutions offered by the airlines, the cost of air freight has rocketed to record high levels. These high rates will continue for some time because the International Air Transport Association predict that air travel will not fully recover until year 2024. So belly hold cargo space will remain severely constrained. In the meantime, the specialist aircraft conversion companies are enjoying a surge in orders for older passenger planes to be transformed into freighter aircraft. Through the short term, we can expect these rather chaotic logistics dynamics to continue. However, over the medium to long term, perhaps the most enduring logistics dynamics of COVID-19 will arise from the post-pandemic reconfiguration of global trade. Striving to increase resilience and reduce interdependencies, companies will be deploying supply chain diversification and nearshoring strategies such that by year 2025, we can expect a much different landscape, one that is oriented more towards regional supply chains. This regional approach will result in shorter supply chains that increase control, responsiveness, and resilience, whilst also reducing lead times, transport costs, and emissions. The logistics dynamics of these regional supply chains will be felt in three key areas: less miles, more moves, and modal shifts. Firstly, less miles. As intra-regional trade flows increase, the logistics dynamics of these shorter supply chains are that cargo movements will tend to involve shorter distances, as the goods will have less miles to travel. This results in more short-haul carriage at the expense of long-haul transport, which has consequences for the logistics industry, in particular for the intercontinental freight forwarding sector. Secondly, more moves. In this shifting globalization landscape, incorporating nearshoring and onshoring initiatives, the reconfigured shorter supply chains will also mean more moves due to the increased amount of domestic freight movements. Research by Stifel found that when products are manufactured domestically, there are 4 times as many in-country freight journeys compared to when products are imported from overseas. 4 times as many. Great news for local logistics providers. And thirdly, modal shifts. The shorter distances involved in intra-regional trade will also diminish the relative speed advantage of fast and expensive air freight over slower, cheaper sea freight. Within a regional supply chain, the difference in door-to-door transit times for sea freight versus air freight is likely to be just a few days, as opposed to a few weeks in an intercontinental supply chain. We can therefore expect modal shifts, whereby some cargoes traditionally transported by air will, in the context of a regional supply chain, migrate to the much more economical sea freight alternative. The logistics dynamics arising from these reconfigured supply chains will offer more options for ground-based freight transport networks. Many regional supply chains will encompass large contiguous land masses, such as in Western Europe, North America, and much of the Asia-Pacific region. In these cases, economical ground-based freight transport options, such as trucking and rail freight, will increasingly come into play as competitive, cost-effective alternatives to traditional air or sea freight. This is particularly applicable where there are low-friction internal borders, which are typically enabled by preferential trade agreements, such as the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, or within the European Union, and also in the recently completed China-led Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which links 15 economies across Asia. Talking of ground freight options, the COVID crisis has reinvigorated interest in the new Silk Railroad, which now connects 70 Chinese cities by rail to over 40 cities across 19 countries in Europe. An intermediate option between fast but expensive air freight and cheap but slow sea freight, this long-haul rail freight alternative can transport cargo from China into Europe in just 12 to 17 days, saving at least 2 weeks off the typical sea freight transit time of 35 days, plus being considerably cheaper than air freight. China Railway is now operating over 1,000 freight trains per month into Europe, representing a 70% year-on-year increase in services. This rail freight option is particularly relevant for manufacturing output produced by China's inland factories, which are located far away from the export gateway container ports on the eastern seaboard. In conclusion, let me summarize the logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. The short term will be characterized by market volatility. Air freight capacity will remain severely limited and very expensive. Sea freight uncertainties will continue, intensified by blank sailings, container shortages, port congestion issues, and high freight rates. Over the medium term, we expect a significant increase in demand for warehousing as inventory levels increase throughout the extended supply chain. However, over the medium to long term, the greatest COVID impact on logistics dynamics will come from the inevitable reconfiguration of global supply chains towards a much more regionalized approach, resulting in less miles, more moves, and modal shifts, whilst increasing opportunities for ground-based road and rail freight transport networks. Through to year 2025, the next normal dynamics of regional trade, localized production, and shorter supply chains will represent both challenges and opportunities for logistics freight transport companies, who will need to adapt accordingly in order to survive and thrive, because logistics is what facilitates trade and commerce around the world.
Thank you, Mark Miller, for this very interesting presentation. I would like to proceed now to show you our last GAA conference that we held in 2019 in Shanghai. We have a little video from that event. It's about 3 minutes. Please roll it. Those were the times when we were still able to meet. Of course, we will hope that we will be able to do that again sometime next year. Thank you very much for joining our GAA Familiarization Conference. Again, I hope it gave you a glimpse into what the GAA stands for, and maybe hopefully helps you in your decision in joining our group. To officially end our program, I'd like to know your feedback in today's virtual meeting that will help us improve going forward into the future. We will have a pop-up poll. If you could just quickly answer by clicking the various points there, that would be greatly appreciated. I would also remind you that you will receive an invitation to attend our second virtual meeting, September 14 to 16, where you will actually get to meet the members personally on a one-on-one level, where you can develop business with them directly and hear from them directly about the GAA, which is also important, of course. You don't want to hear about the GAA only from me, but you want to actually hear if the GAA generates business for you. That's the most important part for your side, to understand and to appreciate. That's it from my side. Once again, thank you very much for your time today. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me over email. Our team will reach out to you over email as well. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the week and a great weekend. Thank you.